There's always like a trend of the week on Twitter.com, and it was how many humans would it take to beat a gorilla? Did you see this?
Good.
Oh yes, I have been seeing that.
All right, and I think I have a pretty firm stance on what it would take.
Humans' greatest weapon is the ability to plan and use tools. It feels like the 100 versus 1 gorilla assumes no weapons, no pre-planning.
Just 100 people wake up in a room with a gorilla with the intent of
killing,
only one of you's getting out of only
blank
one
white room.
species is getting out of here alive.
And so you're not boxing the gorilla. You are trying to kill it. Do you know how many hands we have amongst 100? That's 200 hands.
200 hands.
Okay.
Well, you can't rule out a couple people who have been missing hands.
I mean, I guess that's true. I don't know if we need to check on everybody that's in there. Let's just say 100 able-bodied versus 1 gorilla. Okay, let's just throw that out there, right? Just purely in that context, I think you could even say, personally, you could do that with 10 people.
10?
Yes,
no.
absolutely.
You're away. Now I'm against you.
No.
100
Where's the
definitely.
limit? Okay, yeah, where's the limit?
I think 10 humans, this is what humans do. They exhaust what they are chasing. They would be able to exhaust that fucking gorilla and fucking kill it. You have 20 hands. Just fucking grab it. Poke its eyes out. There's so many things you could do.
I think the problem here is that, for a human, it is a one-touch death for this gorilla. This gorilla hits you once,
so.
you are
No,
done.
it's not.
I definitely think the numbers game is how we win this, because it's just eventually this gorilla is going to get trampled to death. That's how we are going to defeat this thing. Is it will eventually lose its footing, and we will all get to stomp on it.
You agree, right? That the baseline, 100 humans can beat a gorilla easily.
I think 100 definitely wins.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to find
I'm trying to look up how much a gorilla can lift and then do some math on so how many
you
men
are
would
taking
that
this
be?
into I think you are completely thinking about this the wrong way. Do you think a gorilla can fight a mob?
I gotta bounce, but I just want to say I've been tackled by 80-pound dogs and been winded. So I think a gorilla can kill fucking 5 people by sneezing. So I'm gonna bounce. Bye.
All right.
Later.
Okay, but
I'm not gonna say there isn't casualties. Somebody's gonna die, but I think those 10, there would be 1 human standing, and we have 1.
I think I'm gonna have to agree, because I also think when you hear about how strong a gorilla is, yes, if it takes a couple swings, it's gonna break some ribs, but it's if it can't get a good hit on you, I don't think it could kill you instantly.
And it's not gonna hit everybody. That's the thing. It's unless
That's
it does
true.
fucking Donkey Kong T-spin.
Gorillas are smart enough. They haven't learned that yet.
If we're playing the 10-man game, are you just saying these 10 guys encircle the gorilla and just close in and do something?
Why
Is
not?
it
why not?
Do they step back and go hold on, guys, we gotta form a plan while
Yes,
the gorilla's
we can-
charging in at them?
Whatever! You're in
my
a
scenario
room.
here.
Figure it out. Yes, humans are the apex
Well, that's
predator.
what I'm saying. Is I think these factors are important to whether or not 10
No,
men
it's
can survive.
not. It's-
The 100 number is easy because I feel like that's just by sheer volume we're going to win. That's kind of your a billion seahorses versus 1 horse. It's just
exactly.
I
think a billion seahorses beats 1 gorilla.
Yeah, for sure. Because then it's just crushed under the weight of those billion seahorses.
Exactly.
Similarly, I think 100 dudes eventually that gorilla will get knocked down, and everyone's going to step on that gorilla, and that gorilla's not going to make it. We as humans also know where weak points are. We understand that breaking his head is probably going to do a lot more damage than breaking an arm. It's going to be one of those things where we're going to figure out how to end the fight probably a lot faster. But I still submit that a gorilla flailing its arms about, not even with a focused target, just moving its arms,
They don't
is so
fight like
strong.
that. They don't fight like that. That is not how they fight.
Fair enough, I guess.
You know how humans fight? They strategize. They mobilize, and they rip their fucking arms off.
The first thing that would happen the first thing that would happen is the humans would spread apart just instantly, just trying to get some distance from the monkey, and then shout ideas at each other and how they're going to handle it. Like that's instinct right there.
I also think you are way overestimating these humans' ability to trust each other. Because if I was put in a room with
survival
situation,
survival
with 9
comes
strangers,
first.
Yeah, survival. You would override that immediately if you had to survive.
No, but I think if they're like, hey, we need you to cause a distraction, I'd be like, these fuckers are gonna run out of here while this gorilla eats.
You can't run. You're locked in. You're locked in.
Well, they're going to run off and plan how they kill this with 9 guys while they let me occupy.
You're not gonna have like a Sawyer in the group actively sabotaging everyone. It's gonna be like
lost.
It's gonna be like,
you don't understand. If I'm put in a room with strangers, I always have to think of Lost first, and I have to figure out who's the Jack, who's the Sawyer, which one of you doesn't speak English, which one of you. It's just, come on, we got.
Can you not imagine like just random people being like, so if someone distracted, I'll get behind it, get on its neck, and then you come up and poke its eyes out, and then
exactly.
It's
yes.
so easy.
It is so easy. Humans used to kill mammoths. Okay?
Because we had weapons. The rule here is you don't get tools.
It doesn't fucking matter. If we're given enough space, if we're given an able-bodied arena, you can outrun the fucking gorilla in a circle. Like, it is going to get tired and die. Yes,
but
back in the
is
book,
it going to get
5 on each arm, pull. Like, we're fine.
I mean, I think you are overestimating a human's ability to get like all 5 on that arm.
I think you are underestimating the power of the human spirit. The indomitable human spirit.
Maybe it's because I read so many Animorph books where Marco frequently morphed into a gorilla and just obliterated people left and right. Sure it was a kid's fantasy book, but I still understood the idea of like a punch from this thing would just blow your stomach open. Like it's just you're becoming rended because of the force behind these
fists. Would a gorilla
fists.
be able to just line up a punch like that on any one person?
On 10
I don't think
people.
So.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I think its power is so like off of our scale is it does not need to try to focus to hit. It just has that power built in.
Okay, hold on. I need to push back on this one thing too. This is really sad. Like, it is telling me that you people have never like tried to fight your friends, where 4 of your friends gang up on you and you try to beat them because you're training to be like Vegeta. You're telling me that you've never done that with somebody, because fighting a group is impossible.
This gorilla has trained in 40 times gravity, aka the savannah.
Everybody's thinking it's like a movie because they only watch movies. That's how they're contextualizing these group fights. You do not win if you are outnumbered. It is fucking impossible if you are outnumbered 10 to 1.
Even if you are in like this is the only way we get out of here is killing this gorilla. I feel like a lot of people are still going to be too afraid to approach that gorilla.
I think as soon as one person is brave enough to jump in, which we know is definitely
inevitably one person will, and I'm not saying that.
And as soon as you got one, that's enough to rally. That'll distract the gorilla enough for one person to have the confidence.
Except for when you see that one man get his head ripped off when he jumps in.
And then they're all gonna cower and go, I guess we die. No! They team up!
and they go, we run from the gorilla and pray it doesn't pick us
There's nowhere to run!
Weird tangent to bring up to prove my point, but after 9/11, do you know how many people on planes like attacked people like they saw as threats? Because they're like, okay, either instant death or I'm attacking this person who's a threat to me.
I still feel like even if weapons are involved, like even if you know like this person's armed and I'm not, I feel like that is still a different mental leap to make than this lone man will have to charge at a gorilla because it's my turn to distract or whatever.
I don't think 100 9/11s kills a gorilla.
You don't take turns. That's a big point of it.
A gorilla pilot a plane into.
Sorry, Aztec. It's the Americans not mentioned 9/11 challenge. Impossible.
Can't.
Who wins, one gorilla or 2 twin towers?
But I think 10 is a hard sell for me. 10 is very difficult. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm not going to say 10 people definitely 10 out of 10 times lose this fight. But I am saying you are now like asking for kind of a miracle play. You are hoping that everybody does their job just right and the gorilla falls for the trick.
All right.
And that's like 3 coin flips all landing on the same side. It can happen. It's totally possible. But I think the odds aren't great.
Okay.
I'm not saying everybody walks away alive. I'm saying one human.
I also understand that.
one
we're
human
not
is
saying 10
standing
humans
on the
survive.
corpse of 9 others and 1 gorilla, humanity wins. You gotta believe.
We're not going to convince Grant, I don't think, but I do have a question. Where's the limit? Is 12 gonna beat him?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, champ. 12. You really think that gorilla can be 12?
I'm just gonna say the odds get progressively higher, and
What's
would
the
you bet
cop-out
on,
answer?
homie?
What's
Yeah, come on,
gonna
pick
beat
one.
it?
yeah. All right. So what's like my limit?
Yeah.
All right. I think if all these men are hungry and looking for the fight, and the gorilla is already
Looking for the
maybe
fight.
a
This is
little
the fight of survival.
tired.
There's no looking. You have to.
The gorilla's mad. The gorilla's gonna kill anyone and everyone it can. It's survival.
And we're gonna form a human ladder, and our strongest contender is gonna stand at the top of the tippy top shoulder.
All right, then I'm gonna say 20. We need 20 dudes. We gotta double it. We need 40 hands. 40 hands for this gorilla, and it goes down.
Okay. Also true. Most animals avoid being outnumbered. Like they must have like coked this thing up, and in that case, then yeah, it's got to be 40.
Yeah, like that's another thing is like this gorilla could also be very frightened, and that will put it in a weird position because it will be playing more defensively than we'll expect.
And you know what? And then I'm gonna say that I would be sad. I wouldn't want to fight the gorilla if it was afraid. But if it was trying to kill me in self-defense, I could take it.
Yeah. What if the issue here isn't us overpowering the gorilla? It's can we as a consensus as 10 men come to the conclusion we have to kill this frightened gorilla that has done nothing to us.
See, that's, you know what? You're right, babe. I think we've been thinking about this the wrong way. I think 10 people can make friends with the gorilla faster than 100.
Oh, easy.
And I think we could go like, you know what, gorilla? We're trapped in here by some psychotic Hunger Games, like, you know, like monarchist.
Gorilla, the real enemy is the wall. Punch the wall,
Yeah, hang
gorilla.
on, gorilla. We gotta work together. We gotta do like, you know, apes together strong, but go with them,
Jigsaw comes up on the screen and says, like, congratulations, you've come together to realize that
You
this wall
finally
is just
realized.
sturdy enough to withstand exactly one gorilla punch. If you can convince the gorilla to punch a spot repeatedly, you're all free and no one has to die.
like
You
that-
win the game.
This is like that fucking movie where they just, what was it, like The Circle or The Exam or whatever fucking bullshit, where it was like, you're the only time somebody figured out the answer was to not fight the thing.
Yeah. The test was don't write anything down or something.
The test was don't fight the gorilla. We can figure out a way out of this.
All
Yeah,
right,
I'm
we
gonna
solved
say-
it.
Yeah, I think that's the correct answer. And then the gorilla tires itself out on the wall, and then you strangle it.
Exactly.
True.
Yeah, and then once we're outside, that means tools are back on the menu, and that gorilla's going down. Anyway, Donkey Kong Bonanza out in a couple of months.
Good times. Zone.